Fiercely she willed him to look up at her, and when he did, she spoke again. The anger was gone from her voice now, only a deep sadness remained. "Powell of Dyfed," she began, "when you came to wed with my sister, Rhiannon asked but two things of you, that you give her your complete love and your complete trust. This was all she demanded of you in exchange for the great sacrifices she made in order to become your wife. You have betrayed Rhiannon on both accounts. You could not trust her in the face of your people's condemnation of her because she was not of the Cymry, and therefore her credence was to be doubted. But even that the fair folk might forgive you had you remained true in your heart to her. You have not, Powell of Dyfed. Your love for Rhiannon has wavered as surely as your faith in her has wavered. Even knowing the great concessions my sister made for you, you left her helpless, unable to defend herself, and caught between two worlds. For this, Powell of Dyfed, you will be punished." Then Anhared, Queen of the Fair Folk, pronounced Powell's fate. A fate so severe it left all within the hall breathless and in awe of its subtlety. It was a harsh judgment. As the full meaning of it penetrated Powell's brain, his eyes widened with horror, even knowing as he resisted his punishment that he fully deserved it. Then, before the astonished eyes of the assembled court of Dyfed, the hall began to fill with a silvery smoke. There was another monstrous thunderclap, which immediately cleared the haze, revealing to all that Anhared and Rhiannon were no longer amongst them. Bronwyn of the White Breast whimpered, finally fearful, and piteously clutched at Powell's arm. Furiously he shook her off, and opening his mouth he cried after his wife, "Rhiannon! Rhiannon! Rhiannon!" There was no answer, and as Powell's voice echoed and died within the great hall of Dyfed, a deep, sad silence descended upon all there. Part 1. Wynne of Gwernach, Wales, 1060. If in the twilight of memory we should meet once more, we shall speak again together, and you shall sing to me a deeper song. Khalil Gibran, The Prophet. Chapter 1. Wynne of Gwernach stared down at her father's grave. A month had passed since Owen ap Llewellyn had met his death in a freak accident. The grass was already beginning to grow and thicken upon the burial mound, which would soon look like her mother's grave, as if it had been there for 100 centuries, as if there was nothing beneath the mound at all but the earth itself. She felt a tear begin to slide down her cheek and impatiently brushed it away. She had not cried at her father's demise. Tears were for weaklings, and she could not be weak like other women. Other women did not have the responsibility of a large productive estate that must be kept safe for its boy heir. Other women did not have the liability for the safety of that little brother or 3 sisters. "Father," Wynne said aloud, "'tis a hard task you have left me," and then she sighed deeply. Owen ap Llewellyn had been a tall, handsome man in the prime of his life. Although he held one of the richest estates in all of Morgannwg, there was none who begrudged him it, even the king, Griffith ap Llewellyn, his distant cousin. In warlike Wales he was regarded as a man of peace, although Owen ap Llewellyn had been known to pick up his sword when the occasion merited it. Still he preferred his lands and his cattle, his wife and his family above all else, and he would do naught to jeopardize those things. For his entire life, Owen ap Llewellyn had been considered fortunate in all things. At the age of 22, he had taken to wife a girl considered the greatest beauty in all of Wales, Margiad, called the Pearl. She had given him 4 daughters and a son before dying in childbirth. But even so, Owen ap Llewellyn was still thought to be a lucky man. His children were all healthy.